On today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my favourite past DIY and display ideas for spring. We got our little puppy Minnie in spring 2016, so this will be our 4th spring here. As you know, I love rabbits, so when I look out in the garden in the early morning and they're all over the place, I don't mind. Our rabbit also shares his home with the local mice. He doesn't seem to mind that either. And of course we get the odd mouse in the house. But they're super cute. We just catch them and let them go. Try to take them a couple of miles away. But look how cheeky this little one is. So he was eating chocolate baubles from under the Christmas tree. He's hiccuping. I think he's had so much chocolate. So I called him to move him off somewhere else, and he's just gone straight back. So the first DIY I want to show you is this notice board. So it's just a corkboard, and I just put some wadding over the top and then some tartan fabric, just staple gunned it on, and then I cut out a Hessian rabbit, and then just I didn't cut it out, I drew it first and then I cut it out, and then I just stuck that on. So that was my first rabbit DIY. Then I used Hessian and twine to create the strapping. And then I secured each cross section by just pushing a needle through with a button on the end and just use a paper fastener on the other side. That was one of my first ever DIYs. I still use it a lot even to this day. The next, my vintage rabbit cushion. So I just made a 3-section cushion, just an envelope style cushion, pinned the pieces together, and then my very first attempt, I put it through the sewing machine, and yeah, it actually seemed to turn out okay. So then I just turned it the right way around, and there you go. Very, very simple. Anyone could really make one of these. So if you want to make one, watch the video, because it really is quite straightforward. But it's this plain side that I'm going to be working with. So I want to make it look shabby and vintagey, so I've just decided to just make like a fringe to put around the edge. Just wanted to make it, like I say, look vintagey. I'm totally made this up as I went along, as I did with all of my DIYs. So I just trial and error. So I made a piece to go around each side, and then I cut a flower out from the material I used on the other side. And then I drew a rabbit shape just onto some paper, and then I just cut it out and used it as a template, and then just on the same material as I used for the cushion cover, I just drew around it and then just filled in the details with a black Sharpie pen. And then I cut it out just slightly, just not right up to the pen line, left a bit of a gap so I could free the edges. Now I've made a free template for this, and all of the other DIYs is just all on miniandmore.com. Under the blog section, there's a section where it's got free printables, so if ever I make a printable, you'll find it on there. So I glued some Hessian leaves on, some doilies, I pinned them all in place at first. So the ones around the edge all got pinned in, and then I'd managed to somehow get them through my sewing machine, and then just trimmed off the edges to make it looking square again. And then I've got this bunch of ribbon and beads and lace, and I just tied it into a bow and pinned it on with a safety pin, and then just stuffed my pillow inside, and that has become probably my favourite DIY so far. And it looks so nice and fresh still in spring. And my dog, yep, as you'll know if you watch my videos, she pops in the videos now and again. Next, plastic Easter eggs. Now this again was one of my first DIYs. Just showing you quickly this because I want to get through quite a few, but that was one of my favourites. And then DIY Easter egg tree, another video that I made that you can check out if you haven't already seen that one. Now this little bunny I painted for my wedding display, and then years later I found another one in the charity shop, so I just was going to show you this. I love my little bunnies. This DIY was probably the most frustrating DIY. It just took forever because the linen was sliding around, and then there was gaps. So basically it's a paper mache rabbit that you can buy online. I'll leave a link down below. And then I just put pieces of linen on from an old pair of trousers, tied some twine around its neck, and then yeah, it turned out alright in the end. So I like to add touches to my resident rabbits depending on what project I'm working on, like this tick and stripe fabric, just to kind of blend them in with the rest of the deco. So I used this stripe fabric to make a heart on this pillow, and then I also made this tick and stripe pillow and then put a Hessian rabbit logo on. Now this DIY I've absolutely loved doing. The rabbit photos, I still think it looks really good. Rabbit pictures, I should say. One's got a wool background and one's got a Hessian background. I still think they look really fresh. So I made them in a similar way to the way I made these hearts. So there's plenty templates, like I say, over on miniandmore.com if you want to download them. Now this chicken wire I found outside. I love to use things from outside. So I just stapled it behind a photo frame and then put a little nest on with some eggs in. Now this was one of my craziest DIYs. It was not impossible. It just took ages because it wasn't sticking and because the teapot's so shiny, the moss was moving about. But like anything, it just took time. It wasn't impossible, but it turned out alright in the end. And of course, I love to put displays together to show you. So this is a display that I put together last year on my dining room table. My little pooch in the background, as usual. She's just always there. This was like a really money-saving kind of ideas DIY. And then my whole stand, I like to change that around when it comes to the different seasons. So this room's lovely and light. This is the hallway, so I do a lot of my DIYs in here. So here's another really simple table display with hydrangeas, simple white plates and apples. I love the way the dog just stops me sometimes and kind of take a break and look out the window at the rabbits. There's 3 cheeky little rabbits at the minute sitting on the wall just looking at me. I don't know if you can see them on this video. They are so cute. Next I'm going to show you a super quick, easy DIY. It's like a chalkboard sticker. So you get it on a roll, and I've just stuck it here on top of kind of a wooden plaque that I had, and then just used a white pen to write "Live Life in Full Bloom." And this was like a super easy 5-minute DIY, literally. So I just wrote this on and then just stuck some little artificial flowers on and then just hung it up. This next one I'm going to show you, this is probably the most effective, super easy DIY. I just cut my Minnie and Moa logo, the rabbit, out of some black card, and then I pushed a twig into some polystyrene in a pot, and then I just glued the rabbit onto the twig, pushed some artificial greenery in, and like I said, this was probably one of the most effective, just this lovely rabbit silhouette just jumping through the grasses. This is definitely one of my favourites. Now my next DIY I do love, but it was really a bit tricky to do. So basically I've got 2 like paper mache Easter eggs from IKEA, and what I decided to do was just cut up some foam roses, then cut the petals off separately and then glue them on individually. Just the kind of job you can't do fast because it's awkward to hold because of the shape, and then you don't want to burn your fingers because of the hot glue. Although I do love hot glue, and I wouldn't be able to do half of what I do in the time I do it if I didn't have hot glue. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favourite DIYs just because it feels like it was a bit different, but it was time consuming, especially trying to get a moss to stick on to a shiny egg. It was just all moving around. But it was fine in the end. I did have to use a bit of hot glue, I confess, to get this all sticking on in the end. And then I just trimmed it when it was finished. And then I sat these 2 eggs on top of 2 candlestick holders and just popped them on the kitchen window ledge, and it worked out quite well in the end. Now this is a super easy, simple 5-minute DIY. Just cut some diamond shapes out of black card and just carefully glue them over some twine, and then use a white pen, and I've just wrote the word hop on here. And that was just a super easy DIY. You could hang this anywhere, you could make them any length, you could write anything. It's a really super easy DIY. So I've just hung this on the back of my chair. Couldn't remember. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me go over previous DIY and spring ideas. So far the kids have been off this week, so I've just put this video together because I didn't want to not put a video on. So my new series of spring DIYs will be starting on Friday, so I hope to see you then. Please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget you can watch any of those videos in full. I will leave the links down below to all of those videos, and of course you can head over to miniandmore.com to download your free templates. Bye for now.